what we came on here because we keep saying like all the updates with everything that's changing. They taking away they're not taking away the verification, but now you can pay for the verification. And I know they're taking away the Reels bonuses. Facebook and Instagram is, I think YouTube has already done that, and I know Pinterest has already done that. They already been on that. But I know a lot of people were flocking to Facebook with the Reels and the Shorts because it was fairly new on that particular platform, and people were getting big bonuses because, you know, most people weren't really on Facebook anymore. I know I barely even log in. I'm only on Facebook because I have like different groups I'm in, like with mentorships and stuff like that. So honestly, that's the only reason I still have a Facebook page. I just, every time I think about rejoining or posting, I just can't. I don't know. I don't think I posted in like 5 years. I just can't do it. So what else is changing? I know Insta has become like a mini e-commerce, and that was since July of 2022. And most people, they've done some studies, and people feel safer with going straight through Insta with the shopping because you don't have to go through that third party thing. But with all the changes, we would need to talk about like what's going to stay the same, like what you need to do regardless of what changes and how that affects you or whatever. It's because there are certain quote unquote rules, not really rules, but just protocols that you can follow, which are going to lead you to be safe regardless. But as far as the changes goes, what you think is going to be like the fallout with it, like the verifications and the reels and the bonus programs?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's so much in flux, and I kind of looked at it at a macro level and not the micro level. So I'm looking at like social trends as a whole. And a couple things I saw that were interesting, a couple things that we probably already seen for content creators and business owners across the board. One thing I'm seeing a lot of is a lot more AI software being used for content creation. That's a big trend that's coming, and it's already here. There's a lot of people using things like what's it, OpenAI, Chat GPT, all of these different software tools to you know, get your content created. That's an interesting thing that I've seen. I'm also seeing a blending of purpose for social media platforms. If you understand, like if you're on LinkedIn, you know, LinkedIn kind of started as a professional networking platform for you to be able to get a job. Now it's becoming more humanized, and it's a lot more social than what it used to be. There's a lot more posts going up about, you know, all kinds of topics, not just what's happening in professional space, but people are starting to post their personal stuff on LinkedIn. And so you're starting to see a blend. Yeah, you're starting to see a blend of all of these platforms, and there's not really a clear delineation of what's going to be used for what anymore. So that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing if you are one of those people who likes to kind of keep your stuff separate and organized. Right. I go to LinkedIn for my professional space. I go to IG for my, you know, my personal space. It's bad on that side, but it's good on the other side if you're more of a person that doesn't want to rely on a single platform for a specific reason. You don't want to just do marketing on Facebook, right? You can market on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Reddit. You could do blogs. You could do a lot of different stuff. So it's starting to open up, and you're not going to.
I think the bleeding over is coming from, because when you are in business, like you are entrepreneur, or you have like this company that sells some type of commerce or something like that, people do want to talk to people and not brands. Like we're in an age where people want to know, you know, your personal stance on things, because people are really intentional about where they're spending their money. a lot more than they used to be, because we have more options now. You know, back in the day, we really didn't have too many options of where you could spend your money. And now you do. And so people are doing that research and looking, you know, at your past decisions. They want to know who you really are. So a lot of that bleed over is coming from trying to connect with either, whether you're a B2B, business to business, or a B2C, business to consumer. It's coming from their connectivity. And like you said, it could be a good or bad thing. I personally don't want to be on LinkedIn and read about your kids or what you're going through. Personally, I don't, because that's just not what it's for. That's not what it was about. Like, I do like some type of individual, you know, compartmentalization going on. Like, I do like a space that is strictly business, kind of in a way, because I know I can go there looking for a certain thing and I can find it. I like that general idea, because there's so many other platforms out there where you can create the connectivity on a personal level too. You don't necessarily have to take that to each and every platform. Some things can just serve as what they are. And I appreciate that.
And I'm a gripe 1 second for on LinkedIn, because I got off LinkedIn, and it sucks that I got off of LinkedIn, because I actually made a lot of business connections on LinkedIn, a lot of professional connections. I had, you know, my mentors are on LinkedIn. All of my previous colleagues are on LinkedIn. But I had to get off of LinkedIn, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Because I could not be on LinkedIn without some random dude trying to ask me on there. Every time, it never failed. It was some dude in my inbox trying to ask me on it, and it got ridiculous, y'all. It was that, or it was always some kind of conversation that turned into a racial argument in the workplace, and you could start to see people's undertones started coming out in their opinions and how they really feel about people of color. And I just felt like that. That's just not the platform.
If you wouldn't do it in your corporate office or in your place of business, why would you do it on this business? It's kind of like that to me. It's like I was using it during the pandemic when I was just, you know, doing interviews with people like in different professions, insurance and all that type of stuff. And it was a good place to find those people willing to talk to you and share their expertise on their industry. But also with that, when you, like you said, reaching out to people, they thinking something, look, I ain't here for that. I just wanted to talk to you about what possibilities, opportunities, insurance, like what can someone as a independent contractor can do to set themselves up to be able to not come, you know, fall victim to the economy at the time. Like, what are you talking about, sir? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just got so out of hand. And like you were saying, just reading some of the contents, or we're talking about different subjects and those different undertones of the prejudice or the racism or the ageism, the sexism, all those things start coming. Like, it just reminded me a lot of Facebook. And I'm like, you can get that there. Yeah. I'm not on there for that reason. Why would I be on LinkedIn for this? I don't want that either from there. So it was the same for me as to why I was just like, I'm good on this, because it definitely isn't. It's a shadow of what it used to be. I mean, I feel like there's still people on there that worth reaching out to and networking with, and of course, I mean, I haven't totally disabled it. I just don't go on there as often. I kind of use it like Facebook. You know, I'll go if one of my mentors or something, or my groups got an alert. I'll go in there, check that out, respond to that, and then I'm leaving.
Yeah, same here. I mean, my account is on hibernate right now, but I don't plan on getting back on there unless I see some changes and stuff, but I mean, it was bad. Like a dude was once in my inbox and he was like, "Oh, I see you're a director. It seemed like to me you make a lot of money." Really?
I,
I
even if
I'm looking for a
I'm not
wife.
available for
I'm not
that.
available.
Thanks. So, but we're gonna talk about like some things. Well, with the fallout with the verification, I'm not sure if it really will be any because honestly, what the verification was for was to make sure the people who are doing business with you or really communicating with you and want to spend money and be a part of your team, they were actually communicating with you. It was there to be a safeguard so people won't be getting taken advantage of. And of course, most people who needed the safeguard had a big following. So it turned into this social status
Yeah.
instead of what it was actually meant to be. And so I'm not sure if it's going to be much of a fallout. I mean, with that, but if you have just earned your blue check status or whatever, I can see you feeling away. I can't see you feeling away because you had to put in a lot of work. You probably had to, really go in hard to be recognized as who you are and to be deemed worthy of having this check mark. But that was the point at first. It wasn't something to deem worthy of having. It was just to protect your consumers, to protect your followers, to make sure someone isn't out here taking your name and, running scams with it. So, but
Yeah. And I'm kind of worried about that anyway because I think right now to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but the only platform that's doing that is
Twitter, yeah.
Twitter,
Well,
where you can pay for and that's the Elon Musk move all day long. That is Elon Musk trying to find another revenue stream.
Esther is
within Twitter.
thinking about doing it as well. It'll be
They're
$12 a month,
considering
I
it.
believe. It'll be $12 a month, I believe. So I mean, I'm not sure if most people would prefer it to continue to be like a social status thing, like something you work towards, or I'm not sure. I'm sure some people out there was like, well, if I could just pay for it, there's no need to. Why am I going so hard on the social media or whatever? So I'm not sure if people would prefer it to stay a social status thing, or if they would prefer it to be what it originally tended to be, was just as a protection mechanism. I don't.
Right.
No, go
I was
ahead.
reading this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was reading this article on Forbes, and they talked about the top 15 trends for social media that's coming up. And one of the things that they pointed out was oversaturation. They feel like it's going to come to a point where all platforms the major platforms, I should say, the major platforms will be oversaturated with users, and it's going to be up to us to find other platforms to use that are smaller right now, to actually reach your audience because everybody.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my points. You have to a true way of really like navigating and getting around some of this stuff, especially when you're a newcomer. And that's all like if you're already built, you already got your blue check mark, you already got your following, you already kind of got your social media identity, your corner of the internet's kind of sold up, you're good. But if you're just starting out, you're going to have to find those smaller platforms. You got to get in on the ground level. That's why you see all these the OG YouTubers, they're sitting pretty because they got in on the ground level. Yes, some people who came after, they did well, but it's so much work because social media is in its infancy, and as it grows, they're gonna cut off the loopholes. There isn't any gatekeeping, but they're finding how to keep the gate. And I mean, as they're finding how to keep the gate, you have to explore other options and to get in on that ground level of something that you might not think is going to blow up or whatever. I'm not sure if y'all remember Periscope. I know but it was it was such a big thing at one point in time. Why am my computer talking about it's gonna die? Okay, here we go. It was such a big thing, and so I know so many people, or I connected with so many people through Periscope because it had blew up overnight. It was gone in like an instant because I think Snapchat came, or was it Snapchat, or it wasn't TikTok at the time. Was it Musically or something? I think it was Musically or whatever. They came and kind of blew it out the water, but a lot of people got their influence up and got their recognition and got a good consumer base from Periscope. And that was just basically a live platform, like just a running live platform where they could just turn on and do whatever they was doing the whole time. So getting in on that ground floor level, trying to find those smaller platforms right now is probably going to be so beneficial if you're new. So beneficial.
Right.
But there are some things that you should just do, period. When I got so many notes here, let me turn it around. Just doing period on social media. The why, you have to be intentional on here. Like, so if you use your social media just for decompressing or disassociation or just giggles, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a business owner on here, entrepreneur, somebody with some type of service or goods that you're trying to push, you need to know why you're on here. You need to be very intentional as to what you're doing online, and not to become a push channel, which is you're just pushing out product, you're pushing out service, you're saying buy, 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 and you're not building any engagement. You're not building any community awareness. You're like, why should I buy? So it's always about why. When you're a business owner or entrepreneur online, why should I listen to you? Why are you the expert? Why? And another thing is, everything you do is for engagement. Everything you post is for engagement, no matter what it is. Like, whether it's your stories, whether it's your what's on your main feed. Your main goal is engagement. So you need to be thinking about the content that you need to post, what needs to be said, what needs to be done, what's your ideal mix. Like, are you going to be mostly organic, or are you going to pay for some? Like, everything has to be like a very intentional move on your behalf. And it's a lot of work with that, but everything is, narration of the conversation. So you have to do that through your social listening or your social monitoring. And social listening is, what is that? That's more like the way you find the conversations that's surrounding your industry, so you can join the conversation. And then the monitoring is you actively looking for those third-party insights. You actively looking for those conversations that mention your company, your industry, all those things. So either you can respond to those conversations, or change the way you do business because of those conversations. So it's so much stuff that goes in, but when you are a business, these are the things that you use social media for. You're not just out here for scrolling through and you can do that in your pastime, but the things that you put out, they're very intentional. They're very community driven. They're very they're going to spike the engagement. They're going to be educational. They're going to be entertaining. Like, you have to think about these things. You can't really just put out anything, even though you want to be authentic to yourself. And that's something you always do on social media. No matter what's going on, you want to be authentic. But you want to pay attention to your tone and your voice of your brand. The voice is your overall, personality. It really never changes. When somebody goes to your page, when somebody looks on your website, they feel like a sense of, like, there's a like, I don't know, what's the word I'm trying to say here? I can't really put it into words. There's a sense of who you are that's there. Like your tone, yeah, there's a sense of identity there. I know that if that's professional, I know that if that's funny, I know if that's, smart, if that's like, I know who you're about just by looking at your page or by looking at your website. I don't really have to even read anything. I know what it is. It kind of evokes that identity on that person. And then the tone can change with the different posts you put up. You can be funny one time. You can be serious one time. It really just depends on that particular content that you're generating at that time. And curating that feed, like, you do that regardless. Curate your feed. Follow the right people that provide information to your industry that's going to benefit you. Follow your potential customers that you're looking for, that customer idea that you're looking for. What do they like? Where are they? Where do they shop? How do they think? Like, doing that research, that buyer persona.
And that's a good point that you just brought up, because I was going to say that later, but since we're on the topic, like, all of this kind of starts with, if you're a business owner, you need to know where your audience is in the first place. There's no point in you being on Instagram if your audience is not on Instagram. There's no point in you being on Facebook if they're not on Facebook. You are just wasting your time, and you are wasting effort, and you are wasting all of that good content in a place where nobody's going to see it. So before you even get like deep into the curating your feed part of it, what Tequila was saying, I would advise everybody to take a step back and just really learn who it is that you're talking to, and knowing exactly where it is that they show up. If it's on Twitter, get your ass on Twitter. If it's
get on Pinterest,
get on Pinterest, wherever.
Because I think a lot of times we fall into, I'm comfortable here, but
right,
yeah,
or we follow the trend where everybody else is, and that's the other thing. Just because it worked on Instagram for everybody else does not mean that it's going to work for you on Instagram. You have to find out also, you while you're curating your feed and you're curating your identity, you also need to know yourself. And one of the things that a lot of people struggle with is just, coming to the space being themselves and being authentic, and not being overly, rehearsed, or, signing like that. Like, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Good example, my husband has a business. He is not on Instagram. His business is not on Instagram anymore because it wasn't working for him. He knows himself and well enough to know he's a very face-to-face person, and he leverages his actual network of people to grow his customer base. It's not an Instagram post for him. For him, it's a flyer. For him, it's a phone call. For him, it's a networking event at a conference. This is your holistic marketing strategy, and social media is a part of it. And if social media doesn't work for you, that's 100% okay. You have to also learn it too, whether or not it's going to be effective in your
my favorite thing to say, because I know so many of us don't want to ever put anything out, right? We always like, well, I ain't gonna put that out because they're gonna take this, blah blah, whatever. People copying you without context would never work, because they don't know why you do what you do, when you do it, where you do it. They don't know the reasonings behind your business model and what works for you and why you're doing what you're doing. So you can put out whatever you want to put out. You can say what, you can do those things that you're, for whatever reason, if you're trying to gatekeep something or whatever and hold it back, and because you don't want people taking it, people are going to do that regardless. That's just a part of it. But copying without context, it's not going to work anyway. And they can't move until you move. Yeah. So what are we waiting on? Like, don't hinder yourself and your creativity and the things that would be, like, to help the growth of your company, because you're worried about what somebody else is going to do. It doesn't matter.
Right. And don't slow yourself down either with perfection. Don't wait for the reel to be perfect. Don't over edit. Don't do that. Like, one of the things that people are looking for is
Mm-hmm.
more
Mm-hmm.
unpolished content. That's actually trending higher because someone is going to resonate with that. Somebody's going to giggle at the mistakes that you make, but hey,
Mm-hmm.
they're paying attention. They're watching.
It's the
What you really
engagement.
want is the
It
engagement.
drives the
So
metrics. So
if somebody, it drives the metrics. And so if you put something out there, like you don't have to go back and all these people who have this fancy software and stuff, they've been doing this for a while, but trust me, it
mm-hmm.
was not like that in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. It was probably rough. It was, lacking some things, and now they've gotten to a point of
And
having full production centers. And that's great if that's what you want to do. But us regular people, we don't always want to see
right,
a movie
right.
on Instagram. We don't want to see a commercial on Instagram. That's what TV is for. We want to actually
Again, you
interact
want
with real
a
people.
person and
And
not a brand.
sometimes
I want
that,
where are and I say this too.
exactly.
If you are into, some people are just talented and they're into just putting out crazy edited
Right,
work, and that's just
right.
what they do. But if you can come back with a blooper reel or put it in your story, just show yourself in a humanized way. I'm telling you, your interaction and your engagement will skyrocket. Because yes, we see a polished version of you, but you put out that blooper reel, you put out the process, you put out just the little mistakes to show, hey, look, I go through it too. The connectivity goes through the roof because people understand that. I know some of us do understand that. Hey, we all just kind of figuring it out. We're working it as we go. We might look good while doing it. But a lot of people don't understand that. Some people do come to these social media platforms thinking this is the way XYZ lives. They never go through anything. They're always in a good mood. They're this, and that. And that's not true. And that's not fair to yourself when you go out into this world and you're having a bad day. And if everybody always have known you to just be rays of sunshine and able to handle everything that comes your way, and they constantly come to you expecting that, you don't give yourself that room to be human. So just showing up as, not saying a jerk or nothing like that, but just showing that, hey, I'm human. I make mistakes. It ain't all perfect. I pieced this together. This was edited. It goes a long way. It gives yourself a whole lot of grace in this world, which we need.
Right. Cause y'all gonna hear me cussing a few times.
I mean, you ain't got to. Like, and I'm extra country. I lose my train of thought. Like, that just is what it is. I can't stop that from happening. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't know what I'm talking about or what I'm trying to say. I might not. My brain goes faster than my mouth. So I can't figure it out sometimes. But as far as engagement, I was on our page, and I think the social server, that's their Instagram name, they did a whole thing, like a whole post of content ideas and what engagement they drive. And when we're talking about engagement, I'll clarify. It's saves, shares, comments, likes, all those things, DMs, all those things are metrics. All those things are engagement. Every time you post something, you want to know which one of these metrics is going to affect the most, or you want to know what metric you want it to affect most. Some people just want likes. If that's what you want, okay, but it's a vanity metric. Likes are very vanity. They're not really engaged in it. It's just a quick boop and move on. Another vanity metric is your following, your follower count. It's just because you got 25 million people don't mean they will do business with you. I mean, they don't mean you can convert. So there's people out here with, 100 followers, 1,000 followers, but those people, they can convert half of their audience, which is phenomenal. Like,
yes,
that's just great numbers, And so there's people out here with tens and thousands of followers that won't buy anything from them, or they'll get maybe 3 or 4 people to sign up for something, but the following look good. I would rather be the one with the small following who can convert half my audience than the huge following who converts 0.3% or something like that. So,
absolutely.
But that's what we mean.
And that's a real like number, y'all. Like, just to put it in perspective, we do a little bit of social media at my job, and we also do some like internal communication stuff. And in an employee base of about 2,500 people, there's a 33% open rate in our communications. Of the 33%, the actual click rate is like 0.03. 0.03.
That's horrible numbers.
Like,
throw the network away. I mean, that's nothing. Like, so yeah, it's a vanity metric. You got 33,000 people, and you got 15 people that's like, all right, I'm interested. What? I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. That's why you posted show. What I'm saying, like, show up as you. And the people who go like your little strange corner of the internet will find you, and they're gonna root for you. They're gonna buy. They're gonna support. They're gonna do everything in the world for you, and that's gonna go so much further. 15 people out of 33,000. Meanwhile, the person at 1,000 or 100 converts 50. That's more any day of the week. That's more. It's just more. So all those are vanity metrics. So moving on from that, but I think it's a she. I think it's a she. I think it's a woman who runs the account, who identifies as a woman who runs the account. So, but she put out like just content ideas and the engagement that they generate. And she was like, one of her things is content ideas that encourage saves are tutorials, which is true. And it's not really even hard to think about this stuff. What is the stuff that you save when you're scrolling through Instagram? What piques your interest? And it's usually tutorials, showcasing resources. Everybody wants to know how you get something and where you get it from and this and that. So save. Before and afters for inspirational, and before and afters do well on Instagram, and they do really well on Pinterest. I know Pinterest made me, I had to get off of Pinterest because I would be out here spending money on stuff, trying to craft and bake and all this other stuff. Tips and hacks. We love a good how we love a good hack. If it works, I ain't talking about no 5-minute craft hacks. Them things, that's just satire. I'm talking about a real hack. We love it. And Q&As, if you are of somebody of importance or expertise in your subject, if you host a Q&A and really give out, again, those are resources. You giving out those resources, people save. Shares, nostalgic videos. You remember when we used to do these type, like, we share that. I know I'm a sharing videos is part of my love language. I would share a video all day long. That's just, I might not even talk to you on the phone. I might not even look, but I share a video, and I like you if I'm sharing videos.
Trying to tell you, we be back and forth in the midst of sharing stuff. We saw
right. I like you as a person if I'm sharing videos. That's just, it's a part of it. I might never tell you in your face, but you got the video for me, so I like it. Breaking news. I mean, it's just part of it. We're drawn to. Unfortunately, breaking news is usually tragic, so we kind of drawn to that. Share thoughts about controversial topics. I don't know if you want to do that as a business, you can, but just know there will be. If you can handle the backlash. Like, if that's authentically you and you want to show up on these controversial topics and you are going to be 10 toes down in what you believe and say, go for it. Whether you're right or wrong, just know there's going to be a backlash for either side. Whatever you decide you want to be on, there's going to be somebody who's not happy with what you said. As long as you can weather that storm, hey, do what you please. Do what you please.
Yeah.
And be mindful.
Just be mindful of very sensitive topics that could
Yeah.
get you canceled, because we are now in cancel culture and everybody loves to cancel somebody for something inappropriate. I mean, comedians can't even make
but you
jokes
grown.
these days.
You grown, so you can do what you
So,
want to do. So, but if you can handle that, if you can handle the scrutiny that comes with being very vocal on controversial things, I mean, it would definitely move metrics. That those are for the people who all press is good press type of people. That's kind of how I look. Like if you think if that's your mindset, like all press is good press, good or bad, because in a way, it's kind of true. Long if you're moving the metrics, if that's your goal, is to move metrics and to expand, and if that's your goal, it works. Share a must-have guide or a heartwarming story. Again, those resources gonna get you shared and saved. And in the world that we in, we love a heartwarming story anyway. We need a break from the shootings, the killings. We need a break.
Yeah.
Okay, on hers for the encouragement for the comments, you got the inspirational stories, this or that poll, fill in the blank, blooper video, like we said earlier. That again, those blooper videos, if you can put one out, if you can, I'm telling you, they humanize you in such a way, and people really do connect with what you're doing. I think I have a friend. She has this thing that she's gonna say what she wants to say. First thing to come to her mind from this point on, like just because she's talking about. So I feel like it's all these words I've been holding in that's getting me fat or keeping my stomach big or whatever. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna join that because I stopped because I could be extremely blunt at times, but it's just something. It works. It's something. It has a remedying effect when you see someone just putting out. And it's not like controversial stuff or anything like that. It's just everyday intrusive thought stuff, but it's so humanizing and it's funny and people can relate to that. You know, I sit in my car. I might fire up my video and get to talking because I just be sitting in the car for 30 or 40 minutes, but I be having revelations in the car. So I'm like, my
car chronicles.
I be having revelations, so I be having to put that out. But people really do be all in the deal, be laughing. They have messages. Like it's humanizing. Like, okay, somebody else feels the way I feel about this, or I've always thought that, but I thought I was crazy, so I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
People, we want to feel a part of something, and we want to be validated, regardless if you say, "Oh, I don't need that. I don't have to be." Yes, you do. It's human nature. We need to be validated in the way we feel, in the way we think, in the way we act. Somebody has to say that's okay. I understand that. It just makes you feel better. So doing those little things, I'm telling y'all, not only does it make social media less scary, it does let your guards down with, no, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to have on the full face of makeup. I don't have to be in the freshest gear. I don't have to be, like, it really does let your guard down to just show up. And that is the main thing when you're an entrepreneur, showing up. And you should not be so stressed out. Yes, have a strategy and be intentional about the content that lives on your page, which that's macro content. We didn't even get into that. Micro, between micro and macro content. The micro stuff can live in your stories. That's just, it can be easy, breezy, entertaining, fun. You can show up however you want. That's kind of like your personal brand of it all. And if it's something really important that you want it to live on your page, put it in the highlight. You know what I mean? The macro stuff, is that's going to set your voice of your company or of your brand or of your whatever you got going on. And that lives on your page. When I go to your page, I know exactly what you do, how you do it, when you do it. That's your macro stuff. That's your voice. That lives there. I understand that. Anything else, micro, you can have fun with that. Experiment.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing also to have a good mix of that, because I don't like going to anyone's page feeling like all their
that pusher page.
Like, I don't want to, you're a pusher. All you're trying to do is push me your product or push me your service or talk about how great it is. Like, I want a mix of things because it gives me it tells a better story about your business and about you. Not just what you do and what you sell, but tell me why you like doing what you do. Like, why do you like selling what it is that you sell? What makes it a good part of your your life, your business? Because as an entrepreneur, small business owner, your business really is your life. Like, you are the face of the company, and everybody is looking at you. So we don't just want to see, go to my website for like
follow this. Why? I mean, I got questions. Why?
Yeah, why?
I'm telling you, the way people treat social media now, it is like a social status thing. It's so crazy. But some people actually are out here like, I'm not gonna follow, like, they'll follow just to get the follow back and then unfollow you. Like, it's
and then
it's insane. It's bonkers. I don't even understand that. But a part of combating that type of activity, putting out your why. Why do I need to follow you? Why do I need to buy from you? Just why?
And don't lose the fact that it's a networking tool, y'all. It's meant for you to network with other people. It's not it's not a commercial. Like, commercials are meant to sell. That is a push that you put out there for a person to see so that you can pique interest in their product or service. That is not what social media is. Social media is a networking tool.
Yeah.
It gets you close.
I said I was going to start calling it social networking again, because it's social networking. I think putting that media part about it on it puts you in that mindset of production. You know what I'm saying? Lights, camera, action. Like, yes, these are tools that you need to put something out, to do some good content or whatever. But it's social networking. We have something at our fingertips right now. It's changing. They're going to close these gates. There's not gate kept in such a way to where you can reach people directly that you would never have a chance to meet or greet. Like, you can reach these people right now for free. For right now, and they're changing that every day to where, suppressing certain stuff to where they're shadow banning and this and that, to where you might have to buy, ads or whatever. But overall, you can still reach these people. Like, finding that buyer persona and really putting your stuff in front of the people that you want, we can still do that. It's networking. Or just reaching to, say, it's an industry that you want to get into. Following those, you can get to those people now. You don't have to go through whomever, their secretary, this and that, or whatever. Like, we can reach these people. They can find you. But when they do find you, what are they going to see? That's the thing, right? So doing those things, those basic things that you do, no matter what these platforms do. Always saying, your why. What is your why? Why are you doing these things? Why should I listen to you? Why should I buy from you? Why should I consider you? Having your why out there. Posting for your engagement. Like, really making sure you are, whatever you're putting out there, you're building community. That's what it's about. So if you're posting something, I know I don't necessarily have a lot of followers. I think I got like thousand on my personal page, and on my business page is even less. But every time I post, the metrics are over. Like I have the engagement. We're gonna comment. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk back to you. I'm gonna message you back. It's a community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would take that. Like I said, I would take half of my people converting and talking to me and engaging with me versus 0.3 of a million people. I would take me being able to talk to the majority of the people who follow me and talk to them and convert them versus their little bitty, like those real life metrics of those 33,000 people, 15 people was basically like, I'm interested. That's crazy.
Right.
I would take that. Narrating your conversation. Use your website, use social media, use your YouTube, use your blog. Narrate the conversation. Do not let people make up the story for you.
Right.
They're gonna do it, but you tell them what to say. Like, if y'all gonna talk about me, let me give you some topics. Like, I'm gonna tell you what to talk about. Like, you ain't finna just put out anything about me. And just creating your voice, your brand, your tone, and curating your feed. Those are normal, basic steps you can always do no matter what's going on these apps. And if you do those things, if you stay consistent with those things, you will see consistent growth. Depending on how much work you put into them, you'll see that consistent growth. You'll see that consistent engagement, that consistent following, that not following, but that insistent, well, yeah, it's a following, but those people rooting for you and you're rooting for them in return. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And since you brought that up, let's talk a little bit about that. I want to dive just a little bit into consistency. Consistency is not every day. Consistency is not every day. Consistency means a regular schedule that works for you and your audience. Your audience knows when you're going to post, and you stay consistent and meet that expectation. For us, we do this podcast on Sunday at 1 p.m. Central, and we tell our audience that's when we're going to be on. We're not on here every day. That's not our thing. So all of these mass posters that you follow and watch, and they post 3 times a day, good for them. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it. Because the only thing you're going to do is stress yourself out and get to a point where you're like, F social media.
Exactly. And it should never get to that point. Like, it should never get to that point. That's insanity, y'all. Like,
it's crazy, yeah. And you don't want to like burn yourself out that way. Just make sure when you are posting, it's on the schedule that you have allotted time for yourself to do. Also, make sure you're doing what you're comfortable with doing. You don't have to go live because everybody else goes live. You can do little short videos. If you don't want to show up on camera, record your voice and have the words pop up, do the text to talk thing. There are plenty of creative things to do that you can find that fits your style. Some people are very out there and I want to be in front of the camera. I'm gonna beat my face and put on a really nice outfit, and I'm gonna record 17 reels on Sunday. You're gonna see each and every one, and it's gonna be edited, and I'm gonna have all the swipes and everything. That is great.
Right. Don't copy. Don't copy without context.
Doesn't make sense for you.
Don't do that. Don't copy without context.
Right. If you're a behind the veil person and you just want to record your voice, or you take video of other things around you, that works too. People will watch that. You have to figure out what works for you and what you're comfortable with and not.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know so many people, and I do talk to other people regularly about their social media or just the way they want to show up and this and that. I'm like, there's no if you're showing up as you and what you're comfortable with doing in your everyday life, it's not work. It's just, you're just putting out what you do regardless. I had a friend, she was kind of bummed out about, her not getting the engagement she wanted, and it was just having a bad day as far as, her business and and what she was putting out. And I'm like, you never started this you started this for fun. You know what I mean? It wasn't supposed to be this huge thing. If it turns into one, amazing. But don't forget why you started this. Don't suck that joy out of it because you're dealing with customers now. And I'm telling you, customers, clients, yeah, being in business for yourself in any service related field, or even with goods, you got to deal with them people. I'm telling you, people can really put you down and make you feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or what you're called to do, or what you love to do. Like, they would really make you rethink everything. Like, I don't even want to do this no more. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. That's your purpose in life. That's your passion. But people will suck you dry. So that was like, don't forget why you even started this. If you are, I'm like, don't water yourself down either. If you like trap music and you got a pit bull and you're a hippie at heart, that's how you show up. Put your trap music on, do what you do, and watch your community grow. But enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy what you create. Enjoy what you're putting out. Yeah. Your people will find you. And it should never come to a point where you just this bummed or this stressed out about showing up. Like, don't do that. And
absolutely. And just don't, like, the other thing I was gonna say was, a lot of people do get like frustrated because they don't see the progression or the movement that they think they should see on their whatever platform they're on. Take a step back and continue to produce content for the audience that you have. That's very, very, very important on this space, because the growth is gonna come. It takes time. These people with millions of followers didn't have millions of followers in like 2 days, unless they were some kind of celebrity. So they had to like grow that page. The best thing that I've seen is continuing to cultivate stuff for the people that are already rocking with you, and staying true to the people that rock with you. Like, we got 2 people watching right now. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all right now. I appreciate y'all being here right now, and I'm gonna show up next time. And if it's only one of y'all next time, I'm still gonna show up, because
this is what we legitimately enjoy doing. Like, we legitimately read this stuff.
It's not about if we grow it to 10 tomorrow, if we grow it to 100 next month. Like, that would be great. But if the same people that rock with us continue to show up, this content is for you. It's not, yes, we want to grow. Yes, we want more people, because we feel like we have a message that reaches more individuals. And yes, we would love it. But we're going to keep creating, because you're here and we know that you value what we have to say. So we're just going to keep rolling. Because,
I mean, look, it's all about, again, the why. And all that other stuff does come. And I just hate seeing so many people stressed out about social media. Yeah. And I'm like, it's really not. Y'all, if you do whatever you do for real, like, you do this for real, set your little camera. Because all I've been doing lately, I literally would set my camera up on my little station at work for one thing. I don't even record the whole process. Just literally one thing. Put it on a time lapse, and I will put that into my stories. Hey, y'all, this is what I do for real. Does it take any time out of my day? Nope. Yep. Do people love it? Yep. Yep. I get all types of messages. I get hearts. I get bookings. And I set up my tripod for 3 seconds. Look, it's what I do. I'm not going to stress about this. Now, when I put out something, like I said, on my macro content, on my page, I'm going to put more effort into it, because that's the brand. That's my voice. That's of my business. So I'm gonna put a little bit more effort into that, because I I wanted to reflect what I wanted to reflect when you go to that page. I wanted to show this is what I do. I don't want you to be confused when you go there. Like, she say she do hair, but I just see her on trips. Or she say she, a coach, but I just see her eating at Olive Garden. Like, I wanted to make sense. That's what I'm saying. And so that content, I'm gonna put a little bit more work into. I'm gonna try. It's gonna have some intention behind it. But my micro content, you can just do those everyday things. You can relax. You can just be you. Be at ease, please. Please stop. We don't want you, because again, like this whole thing we've been talking about, social media changes every day. Pretty much. If not every week, if not every day, every week, every month, something's gonna be different. They're gonna switch stuff up. They're gonna try. Stick with the regular. Do what we said. Always what you do. Remembering your why. Communicating your why. Post for your engagement. Building the community up. It's a reciprocal thing. Your community rooting for you. You root for your community. Narrate your conversation. Don't let people just say whatever they want. You put out the story that you want to be told about you and your brand and your company. Create your voice, create your tone, curate your feed. That's what you have control over.
Yeah. And a couple more trends that I read on the Forbes article before we wrap this up. The bite-sized content, y'all. That's not going away. So we intentionally make this live a little long because we want to deep dive into some topics, but you're going to start seeing 30-second reels from us or less. You're going to see like really small snippets of what it is that we do. And that's because people's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. And so if you can't get it in like a minute, a couple minutes or less, it's not gonna fly. That's kind of the direction that it's going in. Be ready for more corporations to show up on TikTok. Yeah, I know it's gonna suck, but they are looking at it because that's where that's where everybody is, especially the younger generation. They stay on TikTok.
We don't want to see you though. We don't want to see you though. We ain't on there because we don't want to see you though.
But they gotta be where the customer is. They gotta be where the customer is. So just be prepared for that to happen. It's in flight right now. Back to the AI. It's a really good tool, but there's a good use for it. I'll cover that, and then I'll talk about the thing to watch out. So, and this goes hand in hand with something else I'm going to mention, which is the bigger platforms, because of the oversaturation problem, they're going to start to have software issues. How many times have we seen Instagram crash? How many times have we seen Twitter crash? So the best thing for you to do is to really think about how you want to diversify your reach. What are the different platforms that you want to be on? You don't have to be on like 5, but I definitely would say more than 1. Don't just limit yourself to Instagram. Have multiple. And really, like, spread that content. If you are recording a video like we are right now, one live, that AI tool will come in handy to, do the text to speech or speech to text, and really, transcribe what it is that we're saying. Once you transcribe it, what do you have? You could have a blog post, or you could repurpose your video, put it on YouTube, or you could make, little snippets and put them on Reels on Instagram or Facebook, or you could make a actual post and put it on Pinterest. There's a lot of things that you could do with one stream of content. So it's really good for you to think about how you're going to diversify your reach and get to use these different platforms.
Or have your own website and put it, or make it a blog on your own website. Don't underestimate having your own website. Do not feel like it's weird to have a NathanielSmith.com. It's not. It's not, because you have to protect your content. Like, this is your brain. This is your ideas. That's valuable. So if you have something like how we are doing this, and this could, you know, translate to different things as we grow and move on, it can show up on your own website, your own stuff, because again, social media changes, social media crashes. You might lose it. Then what?
And and to that point on protection, this goes to my last point. You do want to protect your content. The AI software, y'all, be very careful with this AI software because it is a bot and it does pull language and everything else from already existing content and kind of makes a mishmash of things to give you something to draft. However, you need to be very careful because it does have a tendency to plagiarize, and we know how we've been done in our content creation,
especially on the tiki-taki.
The AI software is doing the AI software is doing the same thing. It has a tendency to plagiarize marginalized content creators, and so that's another avenue where content creators of color need to be very, very careful about what they're putting out there because you're already subject to having your content taken, repurposed, and then those non-POC content creators are able to monetize and get more money than you, the original creator.
I wonder.
Now we got bots.
You know what? It would be interesting if they would have used that as a reason as to why they're stopping those bonus programs. You know what I mean?
Probably.
Like to kind of combat the stealing and erasure of original content. People who generate the content. Like, I guess because they're going to Absolutely. Add revenue sharing, which is basically like the actual platform is going to be running these ads and getting the money instead of sharing it with the content creator. There would have been I feel like a better way to ease or deliver the message of we're going to take away these bonuses, but we're taking it away because of XYZ. We would rather protect the users and not the erasure of the content, the original content creator, this, that, and the other. But we know that ain't why you're doing it. But it's really kind of to not share their revenue with your users, because some of these people have so many followers, and I forgot how many, after over 1 million views or something, you're kind of viewed as a broadcast or something. So why go to the actual platform when I can go to the person, give them a check, and they have 1 million viewers looking at my stuff? I mean, you practically a broadcast station at that point, you know? So they're taking that away.
And that's interesting. I think, though, I really want to be intentional about saying, like, repeating to, Black content creators, like, really be careful about your content. I remember reading the whole article when it went down about I can't remember the girl's name.
Oh yeah, this is one of the in the beginning kind of original,
Yes, in the beginning, they were literally stealing other people's dances and recreating them on TikTok, and they got a huge following. Well, these young ladies now have I don't know if y'all know this or not, but they have a reality show on Netflix. They make bank with this reality show on Netflix because of how well they blew up on TikTok, because they were able to recreate someone else's content. And the original content creators don't get a penny, not a dime. You know what I'm saying? Not a shilling.
A shilling.
Okay, they're not getting a shilling. Not a peso, not a shilling, not nothing. Okay, they ain't getting a damn thing.
Not even recognition. I mean, in most artists, all they want is recognition. You know what I mean? God, all you have to do is just say, "Hey, I was inspired by this person."
Exactly.
And
give them props. and let them have a little bit of the shine. I mean, it's already a gap. I mean, I think the last article I read is that content creators of color make about 35% less than other content creators. That's ridiculous. It's the same content, but because
silly stuff, you know. Yeah, because silly
y'all know
stuff.
what I'm saying.
This is what
y'all know what I'm saying. And because it is what it is.
We're here.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're here. So, you know, just be mindful of what you're putting out there, and, you know, be protective.
We can do so many of these because you had just said something, and we was talking about just giving credit where to do. Like, it's so important to tag. That's part of community building. I promise you, it goes so far. Just tagging. Hey, I got this video from this person. Hey, I got this idea from this person. Hey, I was inspired by this person. Most people, especially creatives, they want to be recognized for the things they put out. They have a passion for putting out art, for good work. Like, that's their passion, and really they want to be recognized for what they put out. If it is, because most of them love to inspire you anyway. It don't take nothing out your day to say, I'm recreating this look, I'm recreating this dance, I got this idea from, inspired by, like, it can literally be in your post, inspired by blah, and then go on with your caption. My God. That take what? No time out your life, and you just edified somebody else who probably are on their last leg. Like, I don't even want to do this no more because this XYZ. Like, you just boosted them back up, and probably gained someone who's gonna be looking out for you or follow. Y'all, it goes so far. It goes so far.
Yeah, and then when you start doing that, I mean, think of the opportunities that open up. Like Tequila said, that's, you know, tagging them. There's a collaboration there. There's, you know, partnerships that can be created out of this. There's, you know, paid partnerships that can be created out of this. Like, giving people credit is not,
and it doesn't take away your shine
it's
either.
Just doing
like,
the right thing.
It doesn't take away your shine, and it definitely gives their shine back to them. So I don't understand the whole the copying out without context, and then just, it don't take no time. We can do so many of these things because it's so many nuances in social networking, social media. And I think if we start going back to calling it social networking, you will understand the nuances more, and how important it is to recognize people for what they do and the work, and how it impacts the things that you create and what you put out. So we start back saying social networking. I really do think it will put that emphasis on why is it so important to give these OG content creators their shine. Like, we have to start doing that because that's a part of it. It definitely is a part of it, and it matters so much. But
cool. Well, I think we might be at times.
No, I think we did good. We can wrap up. I think we over our hour that we said we was gonna do. We hope that we helped someone. We hope that y'all got something out of it, something edified. We hope that you learned something, and we hope that we made you more comfortable or confident to navigate social media. Oh, thank you. I'm glad it was. Because we can go down a rabbit hole and forget the topic sometimes. So I try to make sure we try to stay on topic and deliver what we're trying to say without going too far. So I'm glad. But thank y'all for joining. I think it's 3 now or 4 or however many on here. Thank y'all. Amazing for sticking with us. And we'll be back next week. Yes. With another topic.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all. Like,
and when we put a poll out, y'all,
next Sunday,
we need y'all to participate in the poll. So, because we need to know what to talk to y'all about. Come on now. Help us. Help us help. Bye. All right, y'all. We see y'all next week. Bye.